Alright, in part 2 of working with strokes, we're going to see how we can use the stroke layer style to create a dashed line. Now, a lot of people ask, how do I create a dotted or dashed line? Well, a dotted line you can do with the paintbrush, just changing the spacing, but it's a little harder to create one with a dashed line. So I'm going to show you one way to do it, and I'm sure there are others, but this is one way that I like because it's pretty editable. So I just made a new document which is 100 by 100 pixels, and I did it deliberately bigger than I think I'll need. It's just so I have some room to play with. So I'm going to go to my rectangular marquee tool, change it to a fixed size of 50 by 50 pixels, just so that I know I can line this up, because I want to basically make a pattern that's going to have black over here. Change the move tool. I'm going to hold down the Option key or Alt key to copy, and Shift to make sure I drag nice and proportionally or angled 45 degrees, something like that. And then hide the background, select all, and choose Define Pattern. And we'll call it some clever name. Well, it's not that clever really, but it's just descriptive would probably be a better way to say it. Alright, so here's what we need to do now. We need to make a selection of our layer. Yes, that's the word. Layer. Sorry about that. Make another new layer, and then basically just need to fill this with anything. So I'm just using black because it was available. So now I go here to the stroke layer style. In fact, first I'm going to go to that blend options and change the fill opacity to 0. So now all we see in the stroke, let me position this so you can see a preview here of what's happening. So we're going to change the position to inside. Let's make it just a little thicker so you can see it, and you'll see in a moment that doesn't really matter actually, but just so you can see what's happening. And then I'm going to change the fill type to pattern. It fills the whole stroke with a pattern, which may or may not be an interesting effect, but I want to take this pattern that I just created, the one called dash pattern. These were just some other ones that I was doing as I was experimenting, and lo and behold, look at that, we have a dash pattern. Now it's quite large, but that's okay because we can scale it down. Now you'll find at some percentages it doesn't look as good as others, so you'll get kind of an odd thing happening, but somewhere around there looks pretty good. Click OK. So now we have a nice little dashed line around there, and let's just finish this off by going and getting one of the built-in shape tools that we have. Let's make a new layer and just add a pair of scissors in here wherever we might want it to look like we're telling people to clip out the coupon. Now again, the beauty of this is that you can always go back, double click on the stroke and play around with it. If you want to try some other settings, you just go back here, you can scale it up or down. If you had more than one of these patterns you defined, then you can get some different results. So it's well worth playing with, and it's an interesting way to create a dash line. Now unfortunately it only works this way for rectangular objects because it won't follow a path, but for any kind of rectangular dashed line, that's a simple way to do it. So there you go, fun with strokes, part 2. Now just be careful if you are going to add those dotted lines, kind of clip the coupon thing, you know, this kind of thing, because you have to be careful because someone might just take advantage of that and end up with something you don't really like. I'm Dave Cross. We'll hopefully see you next time.